I walked up to her at an event and I was just like, hi, my mom is an AKA, I'm a legacy, and I want to be an AKA. Please don't ever do that. Don't be like me. Hey, what's up, everybody? As you already know, my name is Alyceson-Grace, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So today I decided I would do something very new and something I am so recently blessed and fortunate to talk about, my sorority. So today I decided I would do a very quick tag about my illustrious organization, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. This is something I have never talked about on my YouTube channel for obvious reasons, #discretion. But now that I am here and now that I'm part of the organization, I can talk just a little bit about my experience. There will be other videos to come, so it's not going to be just this one. But at the very least, it'd be a nice starting point to talk about it. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get started. Number one, what is the name of your sorority? I am part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, founded January 15th, 1908, incorporated January 29th, 1913, the only important day that year. And my chapter is the electrifying Epsilon Mu chapter. Number two, when did you join your sorority? I crossed in November of 2019, so I am very new, very recent. I am part of the 27 Elite Icons at the University of North Texas, and I am number 19. My line name is Celestial Articulation, and it is a very special name that was bestowed upon me by one of my prophytes, and the meaning behind it is something I'll talk about later, but it took some work and a lot to get there. But there are videos, a couple of videos on YouTube about my probate. There's one that was done by a videographer named Choreography. I linked his video in my return video. And then there's another video of a girl who was close to Sierra, Lola, Fatim, and a couple of my other sisters. And her video is pretty popular if you look up AKA probates for Epsilon Mu. Number three, why did you join your sorority? So I will admit, I come from a background of AKAs. My mother is an AKA. Both of her sisters are AKAs, and all of, or if not most of my mom's friends are AKAs. We do have a very close family friend who is a Delta, but most of the ladies in my life have been Alpha Kappa Alpha women. So I've always been in that space. So naturally, I've been drawn to that from the very beginning, but also doing my own research, understanding the story behind my sorority, and just kind of meeting other people who were in the sorority before I joined. It felt calming to my spirit. There was no other org that felt safe, that felt genuine in the way that matched what I was looking for. And I just never was actually afraid of trying to become an AKA. And I think it's because it was something that I prayed about. It's something that I researched about for years on end. It's something that I, tried to educate myself on before I, dove into the fray. And so I just had this calm spirit the entire time, at least leading up to a certain point. So I had this calm spirit, and it was only found with Alpha Kappa Alpha. So I knew that's where I wanted to go. I didn't have any other organizations, Greek related, that were in my headspace. I wanted to learn about some other ones because I have a lot of friends who are white, a lot of friends who are Hispanic, a lot of friends who are Asian, and even some of my black friends joined, other sororities that are of predominantly different races. So I wanted to educate myself on those, but I never felt inclined to try for them or to put my heart out for them or anything like that. My favorite sorority memory, I Some of them I can't talk about. But I'd say Founders Day, because my sisters and we got an Airbnb in my hometown, and it was actually like 5 minutes away. And it was almost like this big sleepover with all of my sisters. It was the first time we were all able to cluster together again since the probate, because a lot of my sisters graduated in the fall. And, it was exciting to say hello to my mom, who's, one of our sorors, and being able to spend a little bit of time with her, but also being able to just indulge in that night leading into J15. And then at the stroke of midnight, all of us just skewing our hearts out. 3, 2, 1. Like, it really registered with me that I got to be part of this for the rest of my life, because it's a lifetime commitment. And it was one of those things that just was warming to my soul. And I couldn't have asked for a better moment. So that day, my only complaint is the tenant, or not the tenant, excuse me, but the owner of the property. He kicked us out. He kicked us out because we were too loud. And I think that was probably the only thing that sucked, because then my sisters and I had to pack everybody's stuff a day early, and we had to stuff it in each other's cars. And my Trey, Gabby, she drove me to my mom's house, and we had to stuff things like at my mom's place, and I wasn't even coming back, so I just had to trust that my sisters could just come and visit my mom and grab the stuff, and it was just a lot. But it's still part of that memory that I wouldn't have made without being here, and I just love it. Number 5, how has being in a sorority affected me? I've been more cognizant of my appearance, my physical appearance, in a positive way, because I've always had a good reputation. This isn't to brag, but my GPA has always been high. I've always had good grades. I don't engage in illegal activities or illegal substances. I really don't partake in a lot of outside things. Even though I'm somewhat an extroverted person, I don't really like going out into those spaces. So nobody had any dirt on me so far as I know. And at most, the most embarrassing thing I could think of is my Wattpad fan fiction that now has 33,000 views, but that was there beforehand. So I was already qualified from a reputation standpoint, but I was on the lazier side with my appearance. So I like to wear sweats, I like to wear leggings, I like to wear just very basic stuff. But I will say, being employed on the UNT campus, and then also rushing a business fraternity, required me to change my wardrobe, because for Alpha Kappa Psi, you had to be professional, or at least business casual. So I can't wear leggings that way. And then I kept getting in trouble at work for wearing sweats and leggings. So ultimately, I just had to toss that. Like, I don't have any sweatpants anymore. And I had to replace it with jeans and with skirts. And even today, I'm actually wearing one of my favorite, one of my favorite skirts. It's pretty long. I used to wear pencil skirts all the time because I'm a very curvy figure. So it was just form-fitting and beautiful, but I don't really wear those for a number of reasons. But my physical appearance has been something that I paid more attention to nowadays. I want to represent my sisters positively at all times. I don't want anybody thinking that my sisters or my chapter or my sorority that we're busted, that we're crusty, that we're, ratchet or anything like that. We are classy, elegant women, sophisticated women, and the first and the finest. So I want to always portray that. And I view everything I do as not just on the brand of Alyceson-Grace AK. Now it's more, I am now an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman, and all of my behaviors are part of what Alpha Kappa Alpha women do. And I don't want anybody to ever question the integrity and the reality of my sorority based on my actions. 6, what is the sorority culture like? It depends on the chapter you go to. For Epsilon Mu, it's very high standards, both, in interpersonal relations and interpersonal relations. So having a lot of self-confidence, having high self-worth, self-value, it's a very empowering chapter. And I mean, that works. We're EM. From an interpersonal relationship, we try to keep it as cordial, friendly, as honest and open, but with boundaries. We take care of our business first, and if we see that somebody might have ulterior motives, of course we're going to be on, on our guard. Regarding guys, I mean, Epsilon Mu women are absolutely just gorgeous. I mean, where do you even begin? So a lot of guys, find their interest in a lot of us, and we notice, but at the same time, we got options, so there's no stress. Now, for me, I am happily taken, so I'm not, going googly-eyed towards anybody. But I've had my fair share of people come my way or try to speak to me or something like that. And, Greek life, it's a little different in my experience. But sometimes Greek guys are interested in Greek girls, and that can happen. And if it works for you, that's great. Who runs the yard? Okay, we answered this question at my probate. Who has the highest GPA in all NPHC and who runs this yard? Epsilon Mu. But y'all knew that, period. And then the last question that I had for right now is, who do I express interest to / how do I express interest? So I would say this is where discretion kicks in, because I was one of those that did not know about discretion, but I also didn't have friends who were interested in Greek life, so it worked out. In 2017 in the fall, I met this girl named Elizabeth Osundu. She has a YouTube channel as well, and it's a lot more popular and a lot more professional than mine. But she's one of the most well-known from my grand pro fights line, the 41 Pros with Purpose. And I walked up to her at an event, and I was just like, hi, my mom is an AKA, I'm a legacy, and I want to be an AKA. Please don't ever do that. Don't be like me. But she was really kind, and she just said, you know what? Look up discretion. Come back to me when you know what it means. And of course, I was still an ignorant freshman, so I took it as like a teachable moment rather than like a GTFO situation. So I was just like, okay. And then I ran off and I looked it up, and I was like, so am I not supposed to tell people what I want to do? And then the spring 18 line came, and I knew I wasn't ready. I did not have the finances for that. My parents, my dad specifically, was a little bit cautious because I don't know if sorority life is popular in Nigeria. I don't think so. It's historically more American. And so he was just kind of like, join a black sorority if you're going to join one, but do you really have to? So and plus I wasn't allowed to work at that time because my parents wanted me to focus on school. But with everything that happened, then I had to get a job and I had to save up my own money. And thankfully I was able to take care of all of that business by myself. Regarding expressing interest for anyone else, one, don't do it like I did. But I would say continue to do your best to be your best self. Because one thing I learned in the Spirit program is that 20% of the audience is going to be looking at you at all times. So you always want to be on your best behavior because somebody's always watching. And I can say firsthand, we notice people who are interested. We notice people based on how they conduct themselves, where they are, what stories they're part of, if they do things for clout, if they do things for the greater good of the community. And I'd say you don't always have to be direct and be like, I want to do this, what should I do? But sometimes your actions can speak more for yourself. After the thing with Elizabeth, I talked to one other person. And the one person I spoke to was on Definition Dance with me, and her name is Lyric. And I talked to her one time because I won a raffle for the Heels class in spring 2019, and I told her about it, and she liked my little tray, and she said, were you there just for heels, or were you there because you're interested or something like that? And I was open with her about that. She just said, just keep doing what you're doing. And I shut up from there, and I just kept doing what I was doing. And you really have to be careful who you talk to, because some of my sisters are a lot more hostile. They'll want you to know more information if you try to approach them, and you better know everything. For me personally, I'm a lot more patient because I was one of those who made that mistake and I had no idea and nobody was going to tell me. I will always try to inform one time about general procedure and advice. But if you aren't doing your part to learn the information about my sorority, about my sisters, about my pro fights, about me especially, then why would I waste my time on you? So just keep in mind, doing your research, think of it almost like you're trying to apply for a job at a company. You want to know about who's in charge. You want to know about the company itself and the culture of the company before you jump in and apply. Otherwise, you're just in it for the job, or you're in it for the letters, and then you'll get caught at some Delta's rush, and then you'll get blacklisted, and then you'll never be Greek. So that's just my advice. I will make other videos. Feel free to send questions on my social media. I always leave it in the description. And I upload videos hopefully every Friday, but that's my attempt for right now. Either way, that's kind of it for the moment. I'll probably insert some other clips later, but don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. As you know, my name is Alyceson-Grace. I make videos on Fridays / whenever I feel like it, and the next time I'm here about a sorority tag, I may have some sisters with me. So I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful Friday if it's Friday, and see you later. Bye.